Yeah. Would you guys able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So someone has joined. So who is this? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. So you guys have to mute, go on mute.
Okay.
Oh my God. What's happening? Okay. Yeah. So today is day one of the training. So as I already told you, right, in the demo session, some of you might have not attended the demo session. So I will tell you the brief about the demo session. So we will be concentrating on mainly three things. So one is manual testing. So another one is automation testing. And the third one is like the day-to-day activities or the tools or the things which you need to perform your job as a QA engineer. So first thing would be the manual testing. So I will give you the manual testing basics and what are the manual testing concepts that you need to know before you go into the automation testing. So then the second one would be the automation testing. So what all the tools you need to know. So what are the programming language basics which you need to know to perform the automation testing. I will teach you those automation testing concepts. And then third thing will be the tools which you need to learn to perform this manual and automation testing. So when you go into your actual job. So first thing would be the manual testing. So in manual testing, what I will cover you is in manual testing, I will cover you with the three topics. So those are testing basics. And second one would be the testing concepts. And third one would be the tools required to perform testing. Okay. So I just want to pause here and let you guys know that if you have any doubts, pause me in between. I will clear your doubts here and here itself. And second thing would be like I will be maintaining a daily day-to-day notes in this notepad. So we will be having a shared folder. So that is Google Drive link. I will share you that. So you guys have to send me a request. So I will tell you how you need to send me the request for my Google Drive. So I will be putting all these notes and the recordings of every day in that Google Drive. So that you guys, after finishing this class, you guys can go there and you can refer the recordings and these notes. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So these would be the three topics which I will be covering you under manual testing. So after that, I will go to the automation testing. So first one would be the testing basics. Second one is testing concepts, and third one is tools required to perform testing. So under this, so you need to learn about. So I have 15 topics which I need to cover as a part of this. So I will give you the topics which I will cover. After giving the topics, I will start explaining you each and everything and every term. So first one would be SDLC and STLC life cycle. So second one is QA and QC. Just so if you want to write it down, note it down in your personal notes. But I will be providing you these notes, but it would be better if you maintain your own notes. Static and dynamic testing. So fourth one is verification and validation. So fifth one is different levels of testing. So sixth one is white box and black box testing. So seventh one is functional and non-functional testing. Testing and what are the types under this? So eighth one would be retesting and regression testing. So ninth one would be exploratory testing. So 10th one would be ad hoc testing. The 9th one would be exploratory testing and 10th one would be ad hoc testing. 11th would be sanity and smoke testing. So 12th one would be end-to-end testing.
Excuse me, Likita. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, this is Tapashwini here. Actually, can you please increase the font size?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you guys able to see it now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So next one would be test design techniques. Next one would be use case. Test scenario. And test case. So next one would be defect reporting. So these would be the concepts which I will be covering under these three. Yeah, so these are the topics. So yeah, let's go into the discussion. So what is testing? So what do we test? So we test software. So first of all, what is software?
Likita,
Yeah.
can you increase that screen? Maximize the screen.
Now,
Yeah, better.
is it the same case for all of you guys? Satvika, Deepti, can you guys able to see?
Yes, bit better actually. But if you increase, you can increase more, then it is more good.
Already increased it. So yeah. Now,
Yeah, okay.
okay, yeah. So what is software and why do we need software testing? Software means software is a collection of different programs to perform a certain task. Software is a collection of different programs to perform a certain task. So who will develop this software? So developers will develop the software based on the requirements from the customers. So now you will be having the doubt like who are these developers, who are these customers, and who will perform the software. So let me go to let me give you an example. Suppose, for example, if you take, let me clear this. So yeah, suppose if you have a supermarket. So you have a supermarket. So before of like a few years back, like 10 years back, 20 years back, half the supermarket people, they used to do the billing. So they used to do it manually, right? So after that, they started growing their branches. For example, if you take the Walmart, so before that, they don't have any branches like that. So once they got the customers and all, so they start to having these branches. So for that, so they can't do all those calculations manually. So that's why, so they have automated their calculations, their billing cycle, everything. So now we go to Walmart, we'll just go there and we'll give their our items which we need to buy. So they will do the billing and everything. That would be automatic, and they will give you the bill. So same way, so if anyone they have like burden, so they can't do the things manually, so they will go to the IT industry. They will go to the IT industry and they will ask them to automate their process. So what this IT industry people they will do, so they will automate the manual process like billing and everything. So they will automate the process. So in this automation, what they will do, they will follow a process to automate the task. They will follow a process. So that process is called as SDLC. So what is SDLC? So make a note of SDLC. SDLC means software development life cycle. So in order to develop anything, so that thing should go through this process. So software development life cycle. So what is software development life cycle? So in order to develop any software, so they have to follow a certain process which is called as SDLC. So SDLC means software development life cycle. So there are 6 stages of SDLC. 6 stages of SDLC. So what are these 6 stages of SDLC? First one is requirement analysis. Second one is design or software design. So third one is development. So fourth one is testing. So fifth one is deployment. And sixth one is maintenance. In order to develop any software, so they have to, these IT industries, they have to follow all these 6 stages. So there are requirement analysis, software design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance. So suppose if you want to develop an app for the supermarket, so to automate their billing process, so they have to follow all this process. So first, what this IT industry do, so they will go to that supermarket. The supermarket people, they will come to the IT industry. Hey, I want to develop an app to automate my billing process. So I want this. So then what IT people will do? So they will ask so now that supermarket is the customer. So these these IT industry, they will provide services to the customer. So this customer will come and they will, our IT industry, it will go to the customer and it will ask them like, what are your requirements? So then the customer will give you the requirements. So based on the requirements which the industry gets from the customer, so they will gather the requirements and then they will analyze the requirements. So based on the requirements which they get from the customer, so they will do the design means the blueprint, like what do they want, like how many people they want, how many developers they want, how many testers they want. So like how much budget did they get, how many people do the customer need. So they will do the high level thing. So this is called the design. Basically what it design means, design is the blueprint of the application which they are going to build. So then third one would be the development. So here, so in any team in the software, so there would be developers and testers. So developers are the people who will develop the application and testers are the people who will test the applications. So after getting the design, so these development people, they will start developing the application. So based on the requirements from the customer, so they start developing their application. So once the developer gets completes development of that, so then they will ask the testers, hey, I have developed my application. You guys can come and test this application. So then our testing team or testing people, so our testing comes into picture. So these testing people, what they will do, so they will do the testing, they will apply this testing methods, testing technologies and all, and they do the testing of that application. So then once this testing team completes their testing and they manually certify that everything is working fine, so then only that developed code, the which is developed by the developer, so it will go to the customer. So moving that code to the customer is called deployment, from development phase to the customer. So then once this deployment is done, when we submit our code to the customer, so if there is any issues or the custom, so these customers, they are non-technical people, they don't have any IT background, something like that. So then again, to maintain that code, to maintain that application, so again, so they have to come to the IT industry, like I need the maintenance of this application. So then the maintenance is done after the deployment. So this is the continuous life cycle, SDLC life cycle. I will give you a pause here. So if you guys have any question, you can ask. Do you guys have any questions here?
I think this process will follow for every include not only testers, right?
Yeah. So this is for every software industry, they have to follow. So this is both for developers and testers.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the SDLC life cycle. So here is our testing phase, right? So
Yes.
this testing, this is not a small process. It's just a part of the SDLC, but still testing, under testing, we need to do various activities. There are so many testing types we need to do. So for testing also, there is a separate life cycle. So that is called as SDLC. So what is SDLC? SDLC means software testing life cycle. So what are the different stages? So I'll give you the different stages of software testing life cycle. So this is the this is a very, very important and basic question for your interview purpose also. So if you go to any interview, so for the base, so for the beginners or for the advanced people, so you should know what are the different stages of software development life cycle and software testing life cycle. And like you need to by heart it. So like it should be in your brain forever. So you need to understand each and every phase of it. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. So here for a software testing life cycle, we have 6 different stages. So first stage is requirement analysis. So requirement analysis, this is the common phase for both the testing is SDLC and STLC because it gets from the customer. Both the developers and the tester should know this this requirement. So like basically, if you don't know what are the requirements from the customer, you don't know what to test. So that's why requirement analysis is the first phase of SDLC. So second one would be like test planning. Third one would be like test design. So fourth one is environmental setup. Environment setup. Fifth one is test execution. And sixth one is test closure. So these are the different phases of SDLC. So what is the, so I will just give you the brief of each and every phase. So when it comes to actual, to our actual classes, so then I will explain you each and everything. So first what we do, so as a tester, so we will understand what are the requirements we got from the customer. So for both developers and testers, so this is a common phase. Then what we do, so as the software people, say they do the blueprint of their design flow, like how to develop their application. So what programming language they need to choose, what database they need to choose. So those things, development people, SDLC, so they will follow. So as a tester, so what we do, so we will also do the planning. So whether we need to do the manual testing or automation testing. So will manual testing only enough to do this, to test this software, or we need automation? We need the help of automation to do the testing. So like how many testers do we need to do? Like how much time we have and how many test cases we need to write. So like what is the plan? Like how many testers, how many hours they need to work to complete the testing. So everything will comes under test planning. So after test planning, so there would be like test design. So what is test design? So here we will design our test cases. So how many test cases do we need to write to test this application? So that is called test design. So we need to write the test cases. So again, here you guys will be having the doubt, what is a test case? So test case is a series of steps we need to perform to test the application. So I will give you what is a test case, but in actual, so after few classes, I will tell you in detail about what is a test case, how do you write the test case, how do you execute the test case. So what are the different ways of writing the test case and what are the different tools of writing the test cases? I will explain you in detail. So in test design, what we will do, we will write the test cases. So in manual testing, we write the test cases. In automation testing, we will, with the help of an automation tool, so we will design those test cases. So then we have to set up the environment. So how do we need to run our test cases? So for that, we need an environment. So for that, we will set up the environment. So in which environment we need to run our test cases? So what are the credentials for that environment? So everything we will do under environmental setup. So fifth phase would be like test case execution. So we will run all our test cases, so which we designed in the test design phase. So then there would be like test case execution. Here, if you have few test cases will pass, few test cases will fail. Here we will see like how many test cases has failed and how many test cases has passed. So this is the test execution phase. And in the sixth phase, this is called the test closure. Here what you will do, so you will verify whether how many test cases has passed. If the test case has failed, so what is the issue? Is it a valid issue or is it an invalid issue? If it is a valid issue, you will report this to the developer. So like, hey, my test cases has failed because of this. So I think this is a valid issue. Could you please take a look into this? Like that, you will let the developers know like these are the failures. So if you doesn't have any failures, you will make all the test cases pass and you will let them know that all the test cases has passed and your code is good to go to the development phase, deployment phase. So once you once you certify them that all your test cases has passed, so then only they will move the developers will move their code to the deployment phase. So this is called software testing life cycle. Are you guys clear?
Yes, we are clear.
Before, so after this, you need to know two important terms. What is the product and project? Project and product. So what is project? So project is developed based on requirements from customer and product. Product is developed based on market requirements. Suppose if you have a customer, so he wants something like this is my requirement. So same example is like the supermarket. So this is a requirement from the customer. So I want this requirement. So I want to develop this application. So can you do this? So this is called a project. So and who will do the project? So there are two industries in software, in IT industries. So that is product based industries and services based industries. So these services based industries, they will develop the projects. Service based industries. So example is Accenture, Infosys, etc. So these are the services based industries. So then what is the product? So product is developed based on the market requirement. Suppose, for example, if you take MS Excel, so Microsoft Word, like Outlook, or if you take Google, like Google search engine, like Google, or if you take Facebook, so these are the products. So these are the products which is developed based on the market requirement. So who will develop this product? So product companies will develop the products. So what are the product companies? Example is Microsoft, Google, Facebook, etc. These are the products. So product is developed based on requirements from the market. Project is developed based on requirement from the customer. So depends on this product and project. So the IT industry is divided into two types. So one is service based industry and another one is product industry, product companies or product industry. Yeah, so these are the two important terms you need to keep in mind. So why do we need this both product and project companies? In order to deliver the quality end product. So whether it is a project or product, so this is the software which we develop so to provide the quality product to the end customer. So whether it is a customer or whether it is the people who we are developing the product, so we need to develop the quality product. So we need to develop and deliver them the quality product. So what is testing? So why do we perform testing means? So in order to deliver quality product to the end customer. So this is another important, this is the one more meaning of the testing. So here in this, I will give you 2 to 3 meanings of the testing. So you keep in mind. So you need to know what is testing and why do we do the testing. So why do we do the testing? In order to deliver the quality product to the end customer. So we do the testing. So here I told you what is SDLC and what is SDLC, and what is software, what is project and product, and yeah. So then what is a bug or defect? Defect or bug. Suppose if you're testing, for example, if you are testing the login screen, suppose this is your page. Any application, you need to enter the login ID and password in order to access that application. So this is username. This is password. And you have login button here or here. Suppose soft development people, they have developed their application, and this is the application, you need to test it. Suppose you give here like, so they have some certain requirements that username should be 8 digits length, and password should be 10 digits, and password should start with uppercase. Password should start with uppercase, and password there should be one number and one special character. One special character. So for this, what we do as a testers, we will write the test cases. So we will do one positive test case with all this with all these requirements, and we will do one negative test case. So our positive and negative test cases, they both should pass in order to test this page, whether it is working fine or not. Suppose if you enter if you enter the password without special characters, then the page should throw an error that please include special characters in your password. So if it doesn't throw you that error, so then that is called a bug. So what is a bug? A bug or defect, which is a bug or defect is something so which is against your requirements. So if that is something against your requirements, if something is not working as per your requirements, so then that is called a bug or defect. So what will you do? So you will use some of the project management tools to log this bug or defect. So you have few tools like Jira, you have Bugzilla, you have BugDB, you have tools like this. So to log your defect. So that is called a defect or bug. So here I'm giving you one more definition of testing. So testing is an activity which is used to detect and identify the defects in the software. Testing is an activity to detect and identify the defects in the software. Defect or bugs. Bugs in the software. So yeah. So let's discuss a few things about development. So I told you like there would be like in every team, in every software team, so there would be developers, and testers. So what these developers do? So these developers, so each and every developer, so they will develop a certain unit of code. This is one unit. So another developer, he will do a certain piece. Piece of code means unit. So he will develop some rights. He will use that specified language, some programming language, and he will write his program. So this developer, he will write his unit. He will, so each and every developer, they will write their code, and what they will do. So this developer, so he will write his code, but he need to test his code, right? Without testing his code by the developer, he wouldn't able to give the code to the developers. So this is called as unit testing. So unit testing. So unit testing is the term which is given to the testing done by the developers who has developed his piece of code. So every developer has to unit test his code. So how the developers will write his code? He will use the logics, he will use the code, he will use the loops and all to write his code. So after writing his code, he will test whether his logic is working fine or not, his loops are going through correctly or not. He will test it. So this testing is called unit testing. So each and every developer, he will do the unit testing. So after doing this unit testing, so all the developers, so this developer, this developer, this developer, so they will do the, so all this developers code, they will integrate it. So each and every logical loops, what they did, so they will integrate their code. So that is called as, they will integrate their code and they will do integration testing. What these developers do, they will write their code. So they do the unit testing. Once their unit testing is done, so they will deploy the build. They will integrate their code, and this is called as, they will integrate their code. So integration of the code by all the developers is called as build. So they will comment their code basically. So this is called as build. So this is, so for this build, what they will do, so they will do the integration testing. Here the important things you need to do is both unit testing and integration testing. This will be done by the developers. So after the integration testing, so after we integrate all the code, so this is called as a system. So each and every code, so after integrating the individual code done by the developers and testing them, so then the code will go to the testers. So that is called as testing, system testing. So from this stage onwards, testers will come into picture. So developers will do the unit testing and integration testing. So testers will do the system testing. So, and also one more testing is there here. What testers do, that is UAT. So UAT stands for user acceptance testing. This UAT is a common term which you will be hearing for many number of times. So this is called as user acceptance testing. So developers will perform the unit and integration testing. Testers will perform the system testing and UAT testing. Here also in testers, there would be like two types of testers. One testers are from our team, from the development team, who will be delivering the software. So in that team, there would be testers, and there would be one more testers who will be there. So they are like they are the business users. So from the customer end also, there would be like testers. So who will test the software once the development team deliver their software to the customer also will do one round of testing. Like he will verify whether these people, whether this IT company, it is giving me the correct code or not, whether my requirements are getting matched or not. So this customer also will test. So that is called as user acceptance testing. In customer end also, there would be like few people, those people will be called as the business users. So they are not aware of the code, everything, all the business terminologies and all. So they simply go to the requirement document. So which are all the requirements did they provide to the IT or software industry. So they will open those documents and they will test that application whether it is working fine as per the requirements mentioned by them. So this is called as user acceptance testing. And user acceptance testing, it is done by business users. So there are few levels of testing which will comes under system testing. So those are called as regression testing, retesting, sanity testing, smoke testing. So these are the 4 types of testing which we will be performing as a part of system testing. So I will explain you what all these testing types in detail. So yeah. So before that, what you need to do is you need to know the test environments. So what are the test environments? So suppose you have developers. So where do the developers write their code? So how that code will go to the tester for testing. So how that tested code will go to the customer. So you might be having all these stores. So what they will do, so developer will write their code in dev environment. So they will pick one software. So in this software, we need to write in this tool, we need to write our code. So this is the programming language we need to. So all the developers, what they will do, so they will write their code in dev environment. So all the code which the developers had wrote in the dev environment, so that will be combined and that will be called as a build. And this code, they will move to QA environments. So QA environments or QA application. Suppose, for example, if the developers, suppose if you take the Walmart app, so the developers wrote their code in the Walmart application. So same replica of the code. So they will be same application, which is a replica of the dev environment. So that is called QA environment. So once the developers finish writing their code in the dev environment, so they will push their code to the QA environment. So once the code is pushed to the QA environment, then our testers people, so they will tell the QA people like, hey, my code has moved to QA environment, you go and test my code. So then the QA people, so they will open the requirements, what did they get from the customer, and they will test the code which is moved by the developers in the QA environment. So all the development will be done in the dev environments, and all the testing will be done in the QA environments. So once the QA environment testing is done, so then the code will be moved to UAT. So what is UAT? So UAT is a user acceptance testing environment. So in this UAT, once the QA people done their testing, and if they certify that everything is working fine as per the requirements, then the code will move to the UAT environment. So what is this UAT environment? So this UAT environment will be the environment which goes to the business users. So once the customer gets the application, the customer will test this application with his business users. The business users, they will test whether it is working fine or not as per the requirements which they provide in the initial stage to the developers, to the IT industry. So once UAT is done, then this code will be moved to production. So production will be the actual environment which the end users, which the customers will be using. Suppose we will be using the Walmart application, right? Where we will be adding products to the cart, searching the products, each and everything. So this is called the production environment, which the actual users using the application. So that is called the production environment. So before the code comes to the production environment, so it should go through all these environments. So first the developers will write their code in the dev environments. So once they do their code, so they will do the integration. So first they write their pieces of code. So then they test their pieces of code. So then they will integrate their code, and they will, so once they integrate their code, they will do the integration testing. So once integration testing is done, so here in the dev environments only, unit testing and integration testing will be done. So once the unit testing and integration testing is done, these developers will push their code to the QA environments. So once the QA is done with the system testing, so what is system testing? So regression testing, retesting, sanity testing, smoke testing, these types of testing QA people will perform. So once QA people performs this testing, and once they certify that everything is working fine as per the requirements from the customer, so then this QA people, so they move their code. So they will tell the project manager that, hey, everything is working fine. We are good to move this code to the UAT. So then once the code is moved to the UAT, so the business users will test it, and they will verify if any bugs were there or not. If nothing is there, so if everything works fine, so then the code will be moved to production. So this is the process how developers develop their code and move it to the different types of environments. So here this dev and QA are called the lower environments. UAT and production are called the higher environments. So this production environment will be the exact replica of the UAT application. So whatever the code is present in the UAT, once the UAT passes all the test cases by the users, so then this code will be moved to the production. So yeah, so this is the different types of testing which will be performed at different stages of development and testing. So do you guys have any doubt here?
I'm good, Likita.
Yeah, so this is for today. So here we have discussed about what will be the topics I will be covering under manual testing. So what this will be like testing basics, testing concepts, and the tools required to perform the testing. So then I have explained you about what is software. So what are the, who will perform the, who will develop the software, and what is SDLC and what is SDLC, what are the different phases in SDLC, and what are the different phases in SDLC. Then I have explained you about what is product and what is project. So then I have explained you about what is a defect and what is a bug. So like what is the testing, what are the different definitions of testing. So then I have explained you about like what is a software team, who else are considered in the software team. So what the different developers and testers will do in a software team. So how will they write their code? So what type of testing is performed by the developers, and what type of testing is performed by the testers. So here the testers were also called as QA. So QA means quality assurance. So then I have explained you about different types of test environments. How the code will be moved from one environment to another environment, and who will do the testing, like what type of testing is done in what type of environment. So this is all for today. Tomorrow we will discuss about the other. So what is QA and what is the different types of testing, and who will perform this different types of testing, at what stages of the testing we will perform these types, and other definitions from this document, like what are the, like what is static and dynamic testing, verification and validation. We will continue tomorrow. So I will stop sharing my screen and stop the recording.